got over 60,000 views, but that's the video. Very well performed. As you see, the normal is at max at 4,500 views. I'm very happy for that. Welcome to this new vlog. I'm glad you guys tuned in. Let me put down the exposure a bit because the sun is beautifully shining in. I just wanted to share something quickly because I've been sending out 5 Upwork proposals every day. It has been my input goal. I always try to do input goals in order to make sure that I'm not too attached to the results and that I can fully control what I do. And I've gotten a few responses already, which shows that it works and what I did actually gets me results. And I had a response from a guy and he told me to do a short sample work. So I did a short sample work. I was in a totally different type of editing, the edits that I normally do. And this is why I did a sample work. Otherwise I would just refer to my portfolio and say, hey, look, this is what I did in the past and that's how it would look like. And he really liked the sample, but when it came to the price discussion, we were way off. Obviously, I put in a bit of a higher price and then had some just negotiation space, as I always do. And yeah, it was way off and he had a totally different budget. But this is the times where you have to stay strong and not cut back your prices too much, because otherwise you're not making money and you're just making backwards. So yeah, very important lesson, but I'll keep going with Upwork proposals and I'm sure it'll work. And at the end of the day, it's about giving value. And this is one of the most important things, is be as valuable as you possibly can. Currently on my way to the train station. I'll grab lunch with my girlfriend and then we'll head over to the library and keep working. So yeah, let's go. Here's something that I wanted to share with you quickly on my Thailand, on my laptop, of a video that I did at the start of the month. Let me show you. Alright, here we are in my timeline, and I always like to show things visually. And here was talking about the recessions of when the US struck or entered different wars. And here you can see that these are the animations of these specific things. So when he talks about that, to show him as an authority, as someone that knows what he's talking about, we always show things as much as we can. Might that be with articles or pictures? Obviously make sure that they're copyright free. That's important. Here as well with here the graphic again, as you see from the S&P 500, just to show that what he's talking about here, with the article as well, where it shows the different figures that he is actually talking about. And it's important to put them in with a purpose and with intention, to think about those and making sure that you put them in when it's needed to and when it adds trust and authority, because what is said or what is shown on the screen is actually what he says, or because it supports and helps better understand what he's trying to portray in that case. So yeah, that's what I always try to do when I edit videos. It is currently 11:39. I just came back from a video shoot that I did with a friend of mine for a local association of us. And yeah, it was quite fun just to do something else and be out and use the camera for something else than just the vlogs. So that was a pleasure doing that. But yeah, it was a bit of a longer day, and think I earned the sleep now, so I'm gonna head to sleep and then off to the next day tomorrow. So we take his videos, put it into an AI, which translates it into other languages. These include Spanish, French, English, and Italian. So figure-wise, we have a video that we've edited that has reached over 124,000 views. Alright guys, it's amazing to see a video that I recently edited is now at over 16,000 views after just under 24 hours. Nice story, and I was able to put that very well into the edit, and that translated into a very good performance. Now I also edited the short form version of it. Let me show you a short editing breakdown. Before I forget to show you, this is the performance of the video. As you see, we're now at over 16,000 views. I said under 24 hours, I meant under 48 hours. Sorry about that, but that's the video. Very well performed. As you see, the normal is at max at 4,500 views. So yeah, that's very, very nice to see, and I'm very happy for that. And now let me show you the editing breakdown of the short form version of it that he did, which is about 1.5 minutes long. So we start off here with a zoom. We took prop music as well, that is copyright free. And with that music, which is important to be copyright free, at first I had a version with a copyrighted music that would have gone very well, but unfortunately that won't work. Then we have, as you see here, we have some context with photos of him from back then. Then we have a chart that shows his portfolio. Then we have him showing a bit. Then we have again something happening, the short explanation of the word fire, what that means. Then we have again a zoom in on his face, and then what I did here with every picture is a short with the click of the camera as well. Down here as a sound effect to make sure we see, hey, it's a photo from him back then. And we did that with every photo. Then we have more photos being shown. Then we have again a pop-up with text on it. Then we have as context, because he talks about being frugal and that people over-engineer being frugal. And then we have someone here showing, looking at a bunch of different products in a grocery store and looking at the price and thinking if you should buy that. And that's where he explains in the video that this is too much of being frugal. Then we have an animation that shows, hey, expenses, you can only lower them so much, but the income, you can grow that indefinitely. Again, more photos, as well as the progress of how much money he made at the start of his business. Here we have showing the plateau of, hey, he kept his living expenses as low as he could for a long time while his income was growing rapidly. Then we have again the portfolio showing, again a few pictures of now, because he talked about it. Here the explanation of the word coast fire, what that means. And at the end some zooms, as well as at the end the thumbnail of the video that shows, hey, here's where you can watch the full video. And look, my goal with this video was just to go along with the story as smoothly and as easily as possible, because the story as itself is already so interesting and you're already hooked by the story without me editing too much of it. But just adding these few things to help you guide through the story and being interested, and him actually showing proof of, hey, back then I was eating from the discounter, I was eating this and that, showing actual proof of, hey, back then as a student, here's what it looked like, to put the viewer into that position of, hey, this is what I looked back then, and this helps you get along with the story the best possible. And that's what you have to do with editing, and it worked very well within that video. I'm very happy with it, and very happy that the people watching it are enjoying it so much. So yeah, that is a big win for today. As the sun is shining beautifully into my face, it is gone behind the trees now, but it'll come back, I'm sure. I was watching a YouTube video from a creator today, and he was talking about the importance to be good at speaking on camera, and this is always something that has been a bit difficult for me. I say lots of ums and make lots of weird pauses in my sentences, and I realize it only while editing those vlogs here. And that's also an advantage of actually editing those vlogs, is that you see back what mistakes you made and what you could do better. And it's quite frustrating because in the moment you feel like, oh, I talked very well and I said that very fluently, but then you watch it back and then you realize it's not that good. And he was talking about a concept where you only write the outline of the value that you're trying to provide within your video. So when you're trying to explain something or give some sort of other value, you should always focus on that value and focus on the viewer that's watching and taking them from position A to position B. And because you know so much about the things that you're actually teaching, you have no real problem of explaining it, because the words come to you naturally because you know what you're talking about. You're just focusing on taking your potential target audience from point A to point B. So I found that a very interesting analogy, and I will try to put it inside of my vlogs. And so yeah, we will see how it goes.